The mission for this yard build is bring our stock XJR 1300 into a next level customized bike. Adding a lot more custom feeling and also making it even more simple and pure.
Well, the new XJR is very interesting for us because it kind of, makes the platform more accessible to work on compared to the other modern bikes. Well, our beginning process is about stripping the bike down to the bare essentials. So we have the wheels, the suspension, the engine frame and tank, and maybe a few other components that we need on the bike to keep its identity. It's a matter of taking all the parts that we can see on the bike that we find interesting and change them into what we think they should look like.
Underneath all these, the panels on the side, we found a lot of stuff that we wanted to remove and make it look like it's never been there. We were not supposed to cut in the frame or cut the bike at all, so we were from the beginning starting to think about collabing with other companies, buying bolt-on parts, or at least find some bolt-on parts that we could modify. So that was kind of the biggest task of it, finding something that we like, products that we like that make them work together.
And then just hope that it will be embraced by the yard build philosophy and idea.
The result is amazing. Of course, the first thing probably myself and also a lot of people recognize is the clean front end.
Great.
Then if you take a second moment, you also start realizing all those fine details which allows this bike to be proper customized bike.
What's our signature on this bike is the whole aesthetic of it, the blackness of it. You have to know what's been changed to this bike to see it. We're pretty proud of the project and the way we solved the different tasks and challenges we found on our way.
Yeah.
This bike is powerful, is modern, but got at the same time a lot of things that remind us the past. And this is something that we very like.
I really like of this bike the tank, which is modern and sharp, and the fairing, which is really particular and unique.
I have to say that yes, when we were looking about the target of our special, we immediately arrived at the final idea, the final perfect result of that bike. If someone rides this bike, is to use it sure at full gas, no compromise like the bike, and just enjoying it.
was the first time in which we worked with Yamaha, and was a great pleasure.
The word that can define this bike is strong, is powerful, is unique, because there is nothing similar, and is the bike that we want.
This project brings me back to my root, my childhood in Japan. My father was passionate about Yamaha. His XF650 was the first bike I touched and smelled and admired. So that's where it started. My love for motorcycles, my journey to where I am today, and my relationship with Yamaha. It's been really interesting and different to work on a new machine for the Rhapsody in Blue project. This XJR project was an open book for me. Its clean frame and Japanese styling, air-cooled inline-4 engine design. It was inviting to try different ideas on a bike like this. How far can I go with this? Taking the XJR 1300 to the different level, but that's functional and works. So I guess this is how far I wanted to go. Because you can't sacrifice riding. I respected the performance qualities of the XJR in this custom build. My Rhapsody in Blue.
Yamaha has always been a huge space in my heart because my first bike was Yamaha. I started the whole custom motorcycle with the Yamaha 150 motor when I was 22. The brand has always been in my heart, and now the brand came to me saying, "Oh, can you join our family?" I was like, wow, it means a lot to me. I try to look for the best people in the business to work with. Like, all my metal work is done working with one handmade custom shop. All my paint's done by Air Runner Custom Paint. They're the best in the business, pretty much.
Yeah, come on.
whole process, basically, I study the line of the bike. I look at what I can do and cannot. And this time for the yard build, Shun specifically asked me, can I cut the frame as less as possible? Keep it as stock as possible. So that's what I did. Try to look at the bike after I got all the panel, the bodywork out, and just keep looking at it, thinking about what I can do and cannot. So I end up just cutting 4 tabs on the bike. That's it. Guerilla style is something I've been created for a while. It's a little bit murdered out, all black. It's a little bit military, tactical look. I try to do that with the XJR. It turns out even better than I thought it would, honestly. It's just a really good base, and then when I put my element on the bike, I study the stock lines of the tank and the shape. I try to do it as people can still recognize it's an SJR. It's incredible how Yamaha made this engine. It's so smooth and it runs so great. The reason I build custom bike is when you own a bike, you want to be different. Because no matter how good or how expensive your bike is, there's always someone that will buy the same bike. And even the same color, even parked beside your bike.